Hey, what's up guys, JK Disc Golf here, and today we have my 2017 pre-Christmas in the bag. I decided to make this video right now, because Christmas is coming up, and I want to show you guys what I've been throwing in 2017 and how my bag will change throughout Christmas and what discs I get. So let's jump right into it. Let's go right to my putters. Right now for the 2017 season, I carried 3 putters, 2 putting putters, and 1 throwing putter. So for my main putting putter for inside the circle or a little bit out was the P2. I really love this disc. I have it beaten in. I've been using it for a couple years now, and I feel I can just put it on any line, or I can just put it consistently in the basket from anywhere from 40 to inside the circle. I put it on a little bit of a hyzer, and it will just come right into the basket every time for me. Next is a new addition to the end of the 2017 season, but I can see myself using this disc more often coming into the 2018 season, and that is the Castaplast Rico. I use this putter mainly when I'm way outside, like 40 plus feet, because I can put it on a nice, just straight or right to left hyzer shot, and it'll just go. Because this disc actually goes super far, and I can put this just farther putting than any other of my putters that I've ever been able to. So if you guys haven't seen the Rico, because Castaplast is not that big of a company, they're made out of Sweden, go check them out. I highly recommend. But yeah, the Rico, love it for long distance putts. Even if my throw-ins, I actually love this because I can put it on nice. If I put it flat, it'll go straight. If I put it on a hyzer, it'll hyzer the whole way. That's why I like the Rico. Next is my throwing putter, my Gateway Wizard, and I have a Paul McBeth stamp on it, or signature on it. I used to putt with Gateway Wizards. On my other videos, my vlogs, you might actually see me putting with them. But I recently decided that I like throwing them off the tee more, and I think my P2 is way more consistent. This one's really beat in. I've had it for maybe 2 or 3 years now, so I can put it on any line and it'll hold that line for me the whole way. Next, let's go on to my mid-ranges. I carry 3 mid-ranges in my bag, all from 3 different companies. So my first one that I use the most, mainly for throwing off the tee or a straight, just try to throw it straight, maybe a little longer than like maybe 200 feet or off the tee, I'd be using my Flying Squirrel from ABC Discs. This disc is not really common. I don't know if you ever even know what ABC Disc is, because it's not that big of a company. But I actually really love this disc. I found it in one of the holes, and it does exactly what I want off the tee for not a long shot. If you've watched my vlogs, you see that I throw this off the tee for my shorter holes, and it'll just go right to left every time for me. So love this disc for shorter shots. Next would be for my long hyzer shots, or something that I need to bend around a tree, and that's what I'm going for my Buzz. I have a Brody Smith stamp on this one, if you know what that is. But yeah, I throw this one if I need to get around a tree, not too long, just something where I can put on a hyzer, because I feel like the Buzz for me can get around a tree. I can put on a hyzer and it'll hold the hyzer and hold the line the whole way. Next is my Rock 3 with the 2015 Halloween stamp. For this disc, is for my straight shots. Not too far of a shot, anything that I wouldn't be throwing my Flying Squirrel on. I'd be throwing this because I can put this on a straight shot, maybe a little bit of an Annie, and it'll hold, and it'll go right to my basket all the time. Love the Rock. I've actually just decided that I like throwing it more, and I've been throwing it a lot more, and the more I throw it, the more I love it. Right now, let's go on to my Fairway Drivers. Again, I have 3 Fairway Drivers, all from 3 different companies. I'll go from the discs that I throw most to the ones that I throw least. So mainly, I would say 90% of the times I'm throwing a Fairway Driver is going to be my Star T-Bird. I love this disc. It'll hold a nice straight line for me, and with a consistent fade at the end. And I use this shot for mainly my tunnel shots, because I know some holes that are by me, I need to throw straight and eventually fade. So that's why I use the Star T-Bird, just for my straight shots. Next, we have the Axiom Crave. Again, I use this one for nice straight shots, but when I need more of a straight and less of a fade. When I just need it to go straight and not too far, I grab my Crave, and it'll just go straight. That's all it does, and that's why only reason I use this. I don't use it as much because I still love my T-Bird, and I can feel like I can put my T-Bird more consistently. And last, we have Daredevil Timberwolf, my bad. And the only time I'm going to be using this disc is when I need a flex shot. This is made for flex shots, so when I need a fairway driver to flex, which isn't too common, but still some holes I need. I know some holes I do like throwing this disc on, but I can put on a nice flex and it'll always come out and fade to the right, fade to the left. Now to my drivers. We'll go from my low speed to my high speeds. So one of my favorite discs that I fell in love with this summer was the Thunderbird. I have a Champion Thunderbird, and what I use this disc for is when I need to put a lot of power on it and consistently fade the whole way. I don't know what to say because that's all I do. I just put it out there and it'll always fade to the left for me, and with a huge skip up to the basket. I've hit the basket with this many times with skips because I like just putting it out there. Because the first time I threw this, the skip was a monster, like almost 50 feet of a skip. So I just put it out there, put it on main leaf, I'll put it on a big hyzer, so when it comes down it fades and gets that huge skip up. Next is my Valkyrie. I don't use this disc as much as maybe I should, but when I do use it, it's for a longer straight shot with a nice fade at the end. I don't use this because instead of using a Valkyrie, if I would, I'd use my Thunderbird or I'd throw my T-Bird instead. But again, for the 2018 season, I will definitely want to be throwing this disc more, and I'm wanting to learn the disc more. Next, we have my G-Star Star Destroyer. I don't know what to say because I've had a lot of destroyers this season. I don't know, because I throw it probably the most of any disc, so I lose it the most. And I got my first ace with a Star Destroyer. I love this disc because I can put it on. I usually just throw forehands with this, but I recently discovered that I really like throwing it backhand, and I feel like I get more distance out of this. But I mainly throw it for forehands. Blizzard Katana. This is really beat in. I've had it for a couple years now. So the main thing that I throw it on a big hyzer, it'll flip up, go a little bit to the right, and will always fade to the left for me. So I use this when I need a lot of distance, or I need to use a nice hyzer flip and for it to come around. I use this for longer holes, but again, I don't use this disc as much as I should because I have my Blizzard Boss where it's not as understable, but I'll throw it on a nice hyzer, it'll flip up, it'll go straight, and it'll eventually fade to the right. And I feel like I get a lot more distance out of this disc than I do the Katana. So that's why I mainly use the Boss, and I've recently, again, fell in love with the Boss. I've been throwing a lot more, and it's starting to get more beat in, so I'm getting a little bit more distance out of it, and the hyzer flip is more consistent for me. Next, I have a Champion Vulcan. This disc, again, I found, and what I use this disc for is I used to throw it for big distance, which I still do for my backhands, but it has a wide rim, and I'm not the biggest fan of a wide rim, but what I have found is that I like to flex this disc a lot more than my Destroyer, because it holds the flex a lot longer than the Destroyer will fight out of it right away. So the Vulcan, I'm throwing basically all of my long flex shots for. And lastly, I have this Champion Strike. I got this disc because Paul Macbeth and a lot of pros are using this for sidearms, and I actually do not like it for sidearms, at least the Champion plastic. I haven't tried the Star, but I definitely want to check it out because I feel like that'll help my game because I like Star plastics more than I do the Champion plastics. But for backhands, it's actually really nice. I use this for not too long shots, but shots where I can get a little fade, where it's longer, but I can get some fade to the right and eventually come back to the left, and then just throw it straight, it'll go something along that line. But I can't throw it that far as I don't have the biggest arm, and it is a speed 13, but I still like throwing it for maybe like 300, 350 shots that I need just a little bit of to go this way and come back. That's all I have for my in the bag for the 2017 and pre-Christmas. I definitely will check in for after Christmas because I will be making on a video on all the discs I get and how my bag changes. But that's all I got for today. Just make sure you keep throwing.